Looking down on the dike we built back in 1980 into early 81 on the Cowlitz River for the Corps of Engineers. This was after Mount St. Helens blew and the river had filled with the sediment silt from the explosion. We had our headquarters based in the park up here, about the center of the picture right now. There was a large parking lot and we had our office trailers in there, our equipment yard. We worked the length of it to protect the community of Lexington. The company was Kiewit Pacific. Project manager was Dave Emperor and project superintendent was Joe Hall. I was just a young oiler. I guess I was oiler foreman, which is a glorified name for somebody that works really hard, really long. Bullshit. Some of the guys lived in the apartments that we're flying over now. Some of us, we rented a house up here on the left-hand side of the neighborhood for most of the job. And then the last couple months, we put a travel trailer down in the park and stayed there because the park was closed to the public. It was a good time. My boys were very young. My wife was a sweet young thing. We enjoyed the peace and quiet, and actually we saved a lot of money there in the couple months, not having to pay rent. Towards the end of the project, they opened the park for the baseball season and kind of destroyed the peace and quiet we had enjoyed during the evenings. It's a beautiful park now. Ballpark, soccer fields, lots of grass. My boys were fascinated with the equipment that they used to mow the lawns and trim the trees and everything. They were little and they thought that was pretty cool. Of course, the big equipment, the scrapers and the trucks we used building the dike also fascinated them. Back then they could name every piece of equipment. I don't think they can do it now, it's 40 years later. You see there's still quite a bit of silt in the river. Sandbars build up. The dike continued on. If you look down here beyond the park, you see the housing development. There was a section here where the new bridge is. See the bridge crossing the river. That wasn't there back then. But there was a section down here with an A-frame. And the gentleman would not give them right away until they agreed to jack up his A-frame so that he had a view of the river, which you really can't blame him, except that he endangered the whole community while we were waiting. It was an interesting job. It extends all the way up to the top of the picture there towards the right where it hits the hillside again. There's a water pumping station up there, and that was the end of the dike. We quarried rock from up above. We pumped dredge sand in, used it for a bulk of material. We had a good crew and lots of good people involved in this job. And 40 years later, I honestly forgot all about this Victorian house across the river. If you look at it, it's an equestrian horse farm / bed and breakfast. You can bring your horses, you can spend the night, rent a room, be comfortable, and your horses are comfortable. Really looks like kind of a neat place, so I thought I'd better go take a look at it. Kind of spin around here and get a good shot of it. We better get a little closer. That's I-5 you see in the background, traffic running north and south. This was filmed on Mother's Day 2021. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Good night.